Hi, I'm Jonathan Leeman, and I want to invite you to the Just Gospel Conference. I'm going to be giving a talk called Politics in the Church. It's inescapable and it's good. Now, that might seem like a strange title. Jonathan, politics in the church, is that really what we want? I mean, after all, you have some people who say, hey, the church is spiritual, not political. We stay away from all things political, and I understand what they're getting at, and there's something right in that. The church is not to be a political pep rally. It's not to be an extension of one party or the other. So I sympathize with parts of that. But then on the other hand, you do have people who treat the church like a political pep rally or like a voter recruitment base, right? And yeah, that's not quite right either, obviously. There is a sense in which Christians should care about politics because Christians should care about justice, because Christians are called to love their neighbors. God is just. His throne is established on justice and righteousness, the psalm tells us. But still, something's wrong in that approach too. So what do we mean when we say the church is political? Well, that's what I'm going to be addressing, and the sense in which we need a bigger view of political. Because when we say as Christians, Jesus is king, we are making a profoundly political statement. We're saying he is King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and all of our lives are underneath his rule. And that impacts how we live as Christian in every space. Now, I think we need to maintain the separation of church and state. I think those are biblical ideas, and I'm going to promote those, but there's also a sense in which we need to understand, well, what does it mean that the church just resonates with political power, and the gospel resonates with political power? Think, for instance, of Paul in the city of Ephesus, and he's preaching, and then you have this silversmith named Demetrius starting a riot, essentially. And he says this, Paul has persuaded and turned away a great many people, saying that gods made with hands are not gods. And there is a danger not only that this trade of ours may come into disrepute, but also that the temple of the great goddess Artemis may be counted as nothing, and that she may be even deposed from her magnificence. Notice what's going on. And then after that, a riot ensues. So notice what's going on. Demetrius has religious objections. Paul's gospel is against Artemis, but he's also concerned with the fact that our trade may be coming into disrepute, right? So as Paul preaches against idolatry, there are necessarily political and even economic ramifications. And so there's a sense in which Demetrius is right. Christianity is a political threat. Now, the threat that the gospel is not the threat of an invader or an insurrectionist. It's not direct like that. But it is the threat of, you might say, a virus or termites, something that eats away at the foundations of an idol, and especially an idol that props up an economy or a regime. And so as we eat away at that idol, the idol eventually gives way until the business, the economy, the regime on which that idol rests collapses. Just ask our Christian brothers and sisters in China how it is to live inside of that communist regime. They understand that they are a political threat. Anyhow, it's a complicated topic, but it's something I want to think about with you. What does it mean for the church to be political and to talk about the gospel as political? Lots of other great talks I'm looking forward to hearing as well. Hope you can join us.